we sat down and we were having a beer, and I was feeling kind of down about just like where things were going, and about the business, and I was feeling um, not in control, and just kind of lost. And so
Yeah.
with that, tell everybody what the story.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell it the way I originally told it to you. It was a lion. Um, and then later, for some reason, I changed it to a tiger. But and in my book, if you read it, you'll be like, "What? Is it a tiger?" And Tom's like, "Dude, it's not a tiger. It's a lion.
Lion.
You told me this story, lion, a long time ago." So in print, it's a tiger, but today it's the original lion story, which I heard years and years and years ago from just one of those really cool Indian Swami guys somewhere that just told this story, and I thought that's a really I will never forget this story. So Tom was having some business issues, and he was feeling like he couldn't impact it. And so I told him a story about a lion. And so the lion's out in the jungle, and having a pretty good day, and walks out and into a clearing, and he sees all these gazelles or whatever they are that they consider to be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And the lion looks at him, and the lion thinks, you know what? I'm hungry. I'm really hungry. I haven't had a good lion snack for a while. So I'm going to just run down one of those gazelles, and I'm going to have myself a really good a meal. So the lion takes off, runs down one of the gazelles, brings it down, and spends a really long time just eating as much of that gazelle that lion wanted to. And it was a lot. So the lion's all done, and finished, and says, "That's awesome. Now, you know what I want to do now? I want to take a really good lion nap, a big, long lion nap." So the lion hopped over, went back into the jungle part, and he saw this cave. And he thought, good spot for a nap. So he hops into the cave, and there's kind of like the foyer of the cave. But then over in the corner, there's another hole, and there's another little like room back in there. So the lion just jumps through that hole and looks in and goes, perfect, perfect. So lion just curls up, lays down, and says, "I'm going to take me a great big lion nap." Just goes to sleep. Sleeps a long time, really long time. While he's in the cave sleeping, a little spider happens to wander into the cave too, and looked at that very hole that the lion had jumped into, just maybe an hour or so ago, and thought, that's a perfect place for me to spin a really awesome spider web and get me some lunch. So she got to work, and she's going back and forth and back and forth, and she covered the entire hole with this gorgeous spider web. Next thing you know, she's eating some flies and a couple other things, and she's just had the time of her life, had a really good meal herself, and heads off to wherever little spiders like to go take their nap too. Long time later, the lion wakes up. He looks around and he goes, "Hey, where's the hole that I jumped through?" Because the spider web is completely covering the hole. And he walks up and he goes, "Man, there was a hole here before. I don't know what I'm going to do." I mean, and he's pacing back and forth, back and forth. And he's like, this is terrible. I don't know what I'm going to do. So he lays down and he thinks about it. And then he thinks a long time about it, and he comes up with no solutions. And he just keeps laying there until finally he passes away. And then after enough time, there's just a pile of bones laying where that big king of the jungle, the beast that could bring down anything he wanted to, ran, and it was the top of the predator chain, just laid there and died, because at any moment he could have just jumped right through that little spider web. It's just a little spider web. But he said, "I can't do that. I can't jump through that web." So instead of going back out saying, "You know what? Time for another gazelle," and just having the rest of his great, wonderful lion life, he just became a pile of bones, because he couldn't see that all he had to do was jump through that little web. And he thinks, "Oh, I can't do
the
this.
web.
Move away." I told you that, and you were like, "I'm the lion, man." And you went right back and you did all the things you needed to do, and you solved all of it.
Never. I might go sleep in the cave and there might be a spider web, but never will I turn to bones in
Never.
the cave.
But you were turning to bones. That's where you
Yeah.
were. You were like, I
Well,
can't do it.
and that's really the message for everybody. Don't turn to bones and go away, because you can always swipe away the cobwebs, even if you get lazy, and
Even if you
forget.
think you can't,
Yeah.
you absolutely can.
Yeah.
And spend time with Napoleon Hill, spend time with Jeff Olson,
Yeah.
spend time with Peter Wishney, Rem Jackson in these books. Listen to them on tape. However you consume information, listen to good podcasts. Check it back in on World of Marketing. And I know more about aliens now than I ever knew before. So it's a fun show along the way too. So, but just remember, prosperity is a function of marketing in business, marketing, management, and mindset.
There you go.